Hi guys, welcome to another video here on my channel.
Had a rare day off on a day in May, so we took the old car and drove it far away. We stopped out where the trees stand quiet, walked and talked of how the world conspires to take our time away from this, working such long hours just to live. I don't wanna live like they do. I wanna build a new world for you.
So it's been a while since I did something like this, book related. It was January, it's now mid-July, so I bought a few books. Actually not a lot of books considering, but I bought a few that I want to show you guys, and also I want to show you guys what I've been reading. I've read 8 books so far this year, so I'm also going to show you guys that. But first I want to show you guys the books I got. There's actually an interesting pile of books, so let me start. This doesn't have any particular order, I'm just going to show you guys the books as they come in the pile. So the first one is Estrada Leste-Oeste de Philip Sands. This book is very interesting because I'm actually currently reading this one, that's why it's the first one on the pile. I'm reading this one because I read this one, which is exactly the same book, but one is in English and the other one is in Portuguese. Why, you must ask? Well, first, I'm kind of crazy. I don't know. Well, I might do a video about this soon. So, yeah, I got this book. Then I bought this Neutra book. This is from Taschen. This is actually a collection that I want to start building of like interior design, architecture, art. This Taschen series has a ton of books. This one is my second one, and this isn't really like to read. I just like it for looking at the pictures and just some information. This is the back cover, and hopefully I'm going to grow it because my mom has. Let me go get her collection. So this is her collection. It's from Globus. You can see the numbers. I just grabbed these 3. She had like the entire collection. She has like 30 something books like that, and these are just from like artists, you know. It's kind of like the same as this. I have like this super cool memory as a child to just open these books and look at the pictures without really understanding that they were art. And I think that's so cool. So I'm kind of like creating a collection so one day my kids can open them and watch the pictures. I don't know, but I just wanted to start this collection, and this one is my second book. So then I have 2 books that I bought on the same trip. I went to London this year and I took advantage of the huge stores with so many books to buy these 2. So I bought The Bell Jar from Sylvia Plath, which I've been wanting to read and already have read for so long, and I just found it on Waterstones, I think, and I just got it. And funny story, I didn't have space in my luggage or my backpack to bring any more books, but so I was already inside the airport just killing time looking at books, and I found this one, Madhouse at the End of the Earth. And this is a book about polar exploration. It's about Belgica's journey into the dark Antarctic night. So as you might know, I love polar exploration books. So I just thought that this one was such a good addition to my collection. Also because I've never heard of it. I just bought it because I obviously love the theme, and the cover was also really pretty. And I just read like the back cover, and it seemed really interesting since I've already heard about this journey, the Belgica journey, but I want to know more about it, so I bought this book. Then I have yet another 2 books that I bought on a trip again. Right after I filmed my last book haul, I went to Istanbul to visit a friend, and we came across a huge bookstore. So we were looking at books, and we found classics for a super cheap price. So these 2 books costed me 4 euros, both. So yeah, I just got these 2 classics, the 1984 from George Orwell, which is super known, and I've been wanting to read it. My mom actually has her own copy, but because I like to underline and highlight sentences in the book, I just bought my own, and for such a cheap price. And then I also got The Turn of the Screw because it was the most skinny book out of all the other ones that I actually wanted to read already, so I just got this one. Once again, I didn't had much space in my backpack to come home, so I could only bring these 2 ones. Then I have just a few random books that I've ordered throughout these months. So I have Public Library. I have no idea what this story is about, but I'm super excited to find out. And once again, I think I've said this before, but I buy books, some of them, because I think the cover is pretty. Yeah, that's true. I still do read them and enjoy them, so yeah, I got this one. And then I got this song of Achilles. I have no idea how to pronounce this, but yeah, I've been on Book Talk, obviously, and this book is all over the place. Such a good recommendation, everyone likes it, so I thought let's give it a try. I went so many times to my local bookstore, and I've always seen it there, but I never bought it, so yeah, I just brought it home. Next, I have a book. I read another book of this author, and I absolutely fell in love with the writing, so I just got another book from the same writer. The other book I read was In the Absence of Man from Philippe Besson. This is a French writer, and I'm really excited to read Lie With Me since I loved the other book so much. So yeah, also it's a very thin book with like big letters inside, so this is probably going to be a very light reading, perfect for summer. Then I have another Instagrammable book. I saw this book on Instagram and I was like, this cover is so beautiful, only to find out when I bought it that the back cover is yellow. I hate yellow, by the way. But this is the book, The End of Loneliness. It is a beauty though, and it's fun because I buy most of my books online, and on the website you can only just see the front cover, so this and this you can really see it, but it's so beautiful. I'm so excited to read it. This one again is a fictional story, so perfect for summer reading. Also, it's not very big or thick, and the letters are also big. So yeah, I'm really excited to read this one this summer. And that's it, guys. Those are all the books I bought recently. I know that I'm not going to be able to read them all until the end of the year, but buying books and reading books are two different things, right? I do both, actually. So on another note, I want to show you guys real quick all the books that I've read so far. So I read 8 books this year, and I want to show you guys the books that I've read by order. So first book I read this year was Midnight Sun from Stephanie Meyer. I've already talked about this book on my other video. I started reading it on 2021 and I finished it in January, so it still counts as a 2022 read. I love this book. If you love Twilight, I think you'll like it. If you don't like Twilight, maybe just try other things. I don't know. Twilight is my comfort movie, and this was actually the first book I read from the series. I really liked it. I still want to read the other ones that Stephanie wrote like all those years back. But yeah, I read this one and it was thick, but it was really easy to read because it's fiction and I loved the story. So then I actually went on a trip. I went to Istanbul and I wanted to bring something to read with me on the plane. Also, we did like stops, so we were traveling for so many hours. So I brought with me this one. This is the In the Absence of Man of Philip Benson. I just bought another book from this author, and this one was so beautifully written. I have like almost every page is underlined. You cannot see it because I did it on pencil, but whatever. And this is the story of a teenage boy during the First World War that falls in love, and then I don't want to give any spoilers, but the end is kind of the end. But the plot is kind of tragic. It's wartime. But yeah, it's so beautifully written and it talks about young love. I just loved it so much. Then I read Diary of an Oxygen Thief. I've actually read the second book. This is the first one, so I read the second first because I didn't know that this one was the first. This book was interesting, but kind of like boring and weird at the same time. I really don't know how to explain it. I didn't love it. It's from a guy that takes pleasure hurting, like physically, emotional, hurting girls. And the second book, it's like it's weird. Yet another book that I bought because the cover was beautiful, and also because I had read the second one and I wanted to read the first one just to kind of get the feeling. But this was kind of weird. Then I finally went around and read Kudos. This is the third volume of the trilogy from Rachel Cusk. I really enjoyed the first 2 books, and this one again was really nice to read. It doesn't really tell a story from the beginning to the end. It's just like some small stories around the book. I really enjoyed it. If it's summer and if you're looking for a book, I recommend this trilogy. Start with the first one though, which is Outline, and then there's Transit. Then my favorite book I've read this year, Istambul, As Memórias de uma Cidade, which translate to Istanbul, The Memories of the City. I have this book for ages. My mom bought it in like 2013, I think. Not really sure. And I started I've read the first chapter, but I was 14 years old at the time, so this was kind of like an adult book with even like the language, even though it's in Portuguese, was kind of advanced, so I just dropped it. And because I revisited the city, I decided to grab it to give it another try. This was sitting on my bookshelf just waiting, I don't know, for something, and I picked it up and it was the best book I've read this year. So yeah, This book has a lot of photos. Let me see if I find. So like in the middle of the chapter, it has like photos from the city and from like a bunch of things. And Orhan Pamuk is a very known, like, best-selling Turkish author. So this basically recalls in an autobiographic style his memories of the city when he was growing up. So it was super cool to read a book that talks about the city that I've just visited, and I know like the places, and I've experienced a little bit of their culture. So this was the best book I've read so far this year, and it was super cool because I just picked it up out of like, it might be cool because I just went to the city, and it was such a good read. Also, Portuguese, I'm trying to start reading more in Portuguese, but that's another topic that I'll be making a video about it. But yeah, this one was really good. Continuing on Portuguese reading, I read As Horas do Fim, translated to English as The Hours of the End. I've talked about this book in like a TBR book for this year, I think. This is actually from a high school teacher to the high school that I went. She's the author. And this book was so cool to read. So this is like a crime story. Someone dies, and we get to look how like the last days / hours of his life were, and we understand like his relationships with his mom, with his wife, with his co-workers, and yeah, it was such a cool read. If you read in Portuguese, I totally recommend this book. I found it at my local bookstore, the Arquivo store in Leiria. I don't know if this book is available anywhere else, but if you want to check it out, go to Arquivo Bens Culturais in Leiria, and probably is still there. And then the last book, it was East West Street from Philip Sands. This book is about the Second World War and the Nuremberg trials. It was such an interesting read that, as I shown you guys before, I bought the Portuguese version of it. This was yet another book that I bought because it had a beautiful cover. I had no idea what it was about. I started reading it and I was hooked. As you can see, there's so many like markers and post-its. I also like underlined a few sentences. Also has some pictures to help like comprehend. Oh, this is Hitler, by the way. Yeah, to comprehend like the plot and the story. So this was such a good book that I bought it in Portuguese. And without giving any spoilers anymore that I have given in this video, this will be my next book related video. Yeah, stay tuned, I guess. I hope you enjoyed this video. I love making videos about books because I love reading so much, and I love collecting books as much as I love reading. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed getting to know what I like to read, what I buy, the books that I've enjoyed the most, and probably in 6 months' time I'll be doing another one because I'll be buying more books in the next 6 months. For sure. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.